For many of us, our view of how the rest of the world lives is formed on a gap year trip or big overseas holiday, seeing the sights, having a good time. But do these kinds of experiences capture what the real world is about? In this series, 5 20-somethings go on a journey of discovery they're never going to forget. For the next 5 weeks, they will travel through Asia, walking in the shoes of the local people, sleeping in their homes, eating what they eat, and doing the work they do. They have no idea what experiences await them, like working 30 meters underground in a Sri Lankan gem mine.
Oh my God!
In the Philippines, they farm bananas.
Get in there.
They collect rubbish on the world's most infamous dump site.
That's disgusting.
More picking in Bangladesh's cotton fields, and work on the streets driving rickshaws.
Jesus.
They're traveling together the whole way, and that brings its own challenges.
I'm going to be honest, I'm losing it.
I'm used to being able to get along with everyone. It's painful to be around them, like it's exhausting.
How will these experiences affect our 5 young travelers? Will their journey in the real world change them?
I'm going insane, I can't breathe.
This is the very first time our 5 travelers have met each other. Stephanie, 21, student and former Miss Asia New Zealand, wants to be a TV presenter.
Pete seems a little bit nervous to meet us, I think.
Peter, 22, employed as a trainee in a computer company.
First impression to Stephanie, she looks well off.
Anna, almost 20 years old, works for a fashion magazine.
Anna's really cool. I love that she works with fashion as well. Quite jealous, actually.
Kieran, 25, radio station engineer, has a partner and a 2-year-old son.
Anna seems like someone that could maybe get pretty pissed off quite easy, so like if you said the wrong thing, she'd like snap at you or something.
And finally, Stevie, 21, big family, big heart, studying to be a social worker.
And I'm just noticing all the talent's really good looking.
Like many people their age, cell phones and other electronic devices are necessary for their survival.
I'm the only body out of everybody whose phone isn't connecting to Wi-Fi, which is a little bit stressing.
Why do they want to go on this reality trip?
If I wasn't doing this, I'd be going to work every day and living the same old thing that I do every day, so it's something different and exciting.
I'd really like to just educate people on what actually goes on behind the scenes and where your $20 top comes from.
I've got a definite case of wanderlust from not having travelled much.
I'm 21 already and I haven't done anything that is super crazy cool.
So the furthest I've been away from home would be Australia, and that was only for a week.
I'm so seriously tired, it's ridiculous.
I'm running on 3 hours of sleep for the last 36 hours, I think.
It's taken them 15 hours to get to Manila, the Philippine capital.
It's really, really humid, and I can feel it kind of on me now. I'm sweating like a beast. It's gross. I need to chuck some shorts on.
They've arrived in the wet season, which is why it's so humid.
Oh, there we go!
Over 12 million people live in metropolitan Manila, and yes, it's crowded. The central area has the highest population density in the world.
This is insane.
Well, it smells. It smells so different.
Stephanie's the most widely traveled of the group.
You just think of it as happy beats.
Hello! Hi, beep, beep, beep! Hello! Woo! Hi! Hello! Woo!
500 pesos, sir. Drink all you can. If you wanna request a lady, 300 pesos.
I'm a bit worried about the KTV bars and like the clubs that are right outside our hotel. That kind of weirds me out.
With so many people living in Manila, young women often struggle to find work and end up working in bars or on the streets. For their first night in the Philippines, they sleep in a comfortable bed. But for most of the trip, fancy hotels and Western food will be a rarity.
just like that one.
That one's quite nice.
Okay. Just put it aside. Like, I want something that's more Filipino. I thought I'd come down and see his paintings. How much is it?
I think Stephanie has just bought a painting on day 2 and she's now got to carry it around with her for another 5 weeks. It's like the most bizarre thing I've heard. It's like the first thing she's seen and she just goes and buys it, like impulse buying at its best.
Stephanie loves to shop.
I like buying new things. I like trying things on. I think I have a black belt in shopping, if that's possible.
She's particularly passionate about handbags, and there's one she's planning to buy.
It's a Lady Dior bag, and it's actually $4,000 to $5,000, but I think it's worth it.
And then there's Steph's makeup.
I love makeup. It's one of my biggest loves. I have my skincare, I have my foundations, lip glosses, lipstick, powder, and then those are my perfumes there too. This is my wardrobe.
She loves her Q-tops, one in every color of the range.
Being $400 each, it's totally an investment.
Unlike this painting.
Well, it was 1,500 before, and it went down to 1,000, so...
So what you bought today can feed like 2 families.
That's your thank you.
We are off to somewhere. We know it's a 2-hour drive, and that's all we know.
A brief wait before they find out what's happening. Kieran doesn't waste the opportunity to have some fun.
Like the precious crew sitting in the car in their air-conditioned situation. Like, just come outside and enjoy the heat and the sun.
I'm so bored. I'm so hot.
Stephanie doesn't want her makeup to run and she doesn't want to get a tan because it's not cool to have a tan if you're Asian. You've got to be as albino as possible, so she doesn't want to come out in the sun.
Asian people and political correctness are totally foreign concepts to Kieran.
I would describe myself as pretty blunt and to the point and pretty opinionated.
Often he's trying to provoke a reaction.
In a group of people, I'm definitely the first person to test people to see where their breaking point is, you know, like wind them up and push them until like something breaks.
Only 25, Kieran has the opinions of a conservative 50-year-old.
Definitely very right-wing, you know, like I'd fit in very well in Texas and I'd have a gun in my house and I'd be like, yeah, get off my lawn.
Take his views on the unemployed.
It irritates me to no end that people sit at home and stuff around all day and I'm paying for them to sit at home.
Kieran should like the Philippines because there's no unemployment benefit here. To survive, people must work, and often for a pittance. That's one reason why large international companies outsource their manual production work to companies like EMS.
Welcome to EMS. A company known for assembling hard drive parts. We're gonna teach you how to assemble such items because you are going to do your ship, okay? Yeah, that's right. You are going to do the real thing. Okay, so please follow me, okay?
Their reaction suggests they didn't expect to be actually working in the factory.
Monthly performance, jeez.
EMS assembles components for big international companies like Sanyo and Toshiba. They're widely sold in New Zealand, so it's very likely some of our 5 own an item with parts assembled in this very factory.
Quality is one of the most important things to us. That's why we have focus on what we are doing.
Yeah.
You see, they had focus in what they are doing, and what is it? You see, no one.
Wow.
Look at 100% focus on what you are doing.
Am I allowed to knock?
Yes,
yeah.
You may.
Man, that is ridiculous.
It's going to be interesting to see what Peter makes of his time in this factory, because computers are a very big part of his life.
Some people have their shoes, some people have their clothes, some people have their cars. For me, it's computers.
Peter works as an intern at a computer company.
A nerd is the best way of calling him. He's a geek amongst geeks.
Much of his leisure time also involves computers.
I really enjoy gaming, and I enjoy talking about gaming.
And guys, this is Esa. She will teach you how to assemble hard drive parts. Esa, you may start training them.
Thank you, sir. This is the coil.
Each wire has to be inserted into a fine plastic tube.
Oh, wow. And then, after start wire, the end wire. So this is the end of first process. If you work here, the target is 15,000. 15,000 units.
That's 15,000 units a day, which is roughly 1 unit every 2.5 seconds. To start with, our guys are given a much more achievable target.
You have to produce 6 units in 1 minute. Your time starts now.
Oh my gosh. Woo, this is fidgety work.
Oh man, these are so small, it's absurd. Hey, get out of my way.
Don't laugh, just focus.
Oh my God.
I've done 1. This is quite fidgety.
I got it. I'm on number 2. Just finished number 2. Get in there.
I haven't even done 1. Oh gosh.
It's so frustrating, man, like missing all the time and it's so fiddly and I'm like starting to shake with rage.
Oh my God, I'm doing terribly. And that's really just fine, tiny work.
Stop. How many units?
I did 2 in a minute.
For 1 minute, 2 units. The requirement is 6 units. Good. Good. She did 6 units.
Stephanie met the target.
How about you? Only 3 units.
I know. Sorry.
She's efficient.
Yeah, I'm slow.
This is reject. 1 reject, 3 good.
Managed 2.
Only 2.
Yeah, do you want to look at my reject pile?
Oh my God.
The boys aren't taking this seriously,
This is not good enough.
and their attempts at humor aren't appreciated. Coming up next, how will they cope on the assembly line?
Oh, I will lose it if I don't pick this up.
Our 5 young travelers are discovering what life is like for someone working on a Filipino assembly line.
So we're now entering into production area. So no makeups, no jewelries, no cell phones, just wear your bunny suit, your uniform.
I don't get why we have to take our makeup off.
It's composed of dust, so the units affected.
It's funny you can't see my smile through this mask, but I'm laughing.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God. It's like $2,000 worth of stuff right there. Okay.
$2,000 worth of jewelry represents 9 months' wages for a production line worker. But Stephanie's big worry is having to remove her makeup.
Yeah, no makeup at all. You want me to rub your face so that
It's okay, I'll do it. They take off your makeup, which is a bit of your identity. They put you in this, you know, white ninja suit. I couldn't tell if this chick was Anna or this chick was Stevie.
Oh, it's like having 5 hoods on at the moment. So this is what we call air shower.
It doesn't take much to damage the electronics they're going to work on. A speck of dust, a smear of a chemical contained in makeup.
Oh, man. And turn around.
The air shower blows off any fine bits of dust or dirt that may be on their uniforms. Workers in this clean room are responsible for a lot of fine detail work, like soldering circuit boards to go into consumer and industrial electronic equipment. But for our guys, it's hard drive coils.
Oh my God, so hard.
You've got to be kidding me. I can't even pick it up.
Because this is so annoying. I hate it. I hate it.
Oh, I will lose it if I don't pick this up.
Fine. Get some music up in here.
1. Is it time for lunch? Can we have the radio, music?
No, we don't allow here.
All the workers, they can't laugh, they can't smile, they can't communicate with each other. It's just cold and hard.
Anna strongly believes workers should be treated ethically, and that influences her shopping habits.
I always check clothing labels to make sure it's not made in countries that won't be treating their workers ethically.
Anna works for a fashion, beauty, and lifestyle magazine.
Fashion means absolutely everything. I can't imagine doing anything else.
She is one very focused 19-year-old.
I'm single, I have no time for boys. I plan to never get married and just be focused on my career and be really successful career-wise. And ideally, become the editor of Vogue one day. Fingers crossed.
They've been going for less than an hour, and they're not happy campers.
I'm getting so angry. And my eyes hurt, and my back hurts, and my fingers hurt. And I've just been told that we're not performing at speed. I want to go home.
I'm not putting, I want to feed my kids. Guys, we don't allow to talk.
Oh.
You have to focus.
Oh, I'm not going to get employee of the month at this rate.
The first hour is over, and hopefully their skills have improved, because now they have to lift their game.
Okay, guys, your job now is to produce 300 units per hour. Okay, so I'll be checking after hour. 300.
That's 1 unit every 12 seconds. It sounds fast, but it's 4 times slower than what the other workers are doing.
I would rather not eat again for the rest of this trip than to continue doing this. But I've been told that I have no choice. This is ridiculous.
My parents would be laughing right now so badly.
Anna's just finished her first tray, and Stephanie's already done one.
I hate you.
But the boys are a long way behind. There aren't many men doing this job, and Kieran thinks he knows why.
How about you, Kira?
Oh.
Kira is very slow.
Yes, so observant of you. Clearly, Peter and I are struggling, and the girls are doing really well, so it's definitely a woman's job.
This was definitely a woman's job because the men were too slow and stupid to pick it up enough.
It doesn't need intelligence, it needs skill. Clearly you do not have that.
Guys, don't talk.
I feel like this place is almost an institution. It feels very clinical. It feels very sterile. It is a facade of strict obedience.
The second hour is up, and it's time to count how many coils each of them did.
So, Kieran, you did only 31 pieces. 31 pieces.
The boys managed only half of Stephanie's output.
How about you, Stevie? 62. But you did not meet the target. The target is 300.
I got 69.
69. Okay. 65 units. 38. All of you did not meet the target. So you have to improve. Focus.
They're finished for the day. They're lucky they're not working a full shift. They have that to look forward to tomorrow.
I'm really surprised because I definitely wasn't interested in this at all. I just wanted to chill and just watch instead.
Stephanie was always going to be good at that because she's like quite similar to the people that work here, so I think she's got a natural advantage. She's Oriental, so you know they're like good at fiddly little things.
And I'm just so shocked at what he says, but you just have to adjust your humor.
Coming up, they stay the night with EMS workers.
Yeah, it's just all really, really overwhelming.
And Kieran samples a local delicacy. To truly understand the lives of Filipinos assembling electronic components, the 5 are going home with 2 of the EMS workers. Faye is 29 and has worked at EMS for 9 of those years.
Faye, how far is it to your house?
30 minutes.
20 minutes?
If there's no traffic.
Okay. What time do you wake up in the morning to get ready for work?
4:30.
4:30?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Like so many people in this city of 12 million, Faye rents her home. And it's unlike anything Kieran and Peter have ever seen before.
How many rooms are there?
Two rooms.
Two rooms? How many people live here?
3. We are 3.
3 people?
Yeah.
It's very small compared from where we come from.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's nice and it's cool, but it's very different, you know.
The girls are staying with another EMS employee, Victoria. She shares with her sister and a workmate. Their 2 rooms are part of a cluster of rooms all running off a central alleyway.
So this is your room?
It's your home? Yes. Very lovely.
Which bed is your bed? Which one do you sleep in?
This is my sister.
Sister?
Big sister, yes.
Thank you for opening up your home to us.
Yeah.
So how long have you worked at the factory?
7 years.
7?
Yeah,
7 years.
And do you have any children? Kids?
Yes.
Are these them here on the wall?
My first baby, that's second, then third.
Oh, wow. And where do they sleep? Where do they sleep?
The children do not stay with her. It's in the province.
So how often do you get to see your children?
Every 1 month.
Why do you not see them more?
I'm working.
So she said it's far and it's really difficult if I go home regularly.
Is it hard? You miss them lots?
Oh, miss them sila.
Yeah.
The second sentence she spoke to us was, I live a very sad life. A sad life where it was nothing but get up in the morning, go to work, come home.
Victoria is 30 years old. She works an 8-hour shift, 6 days a week, and earns roughly 8,000 pesos a month, about $180 US. That works out to about 90 cents an hour after tax. She sends half of her earnings home to her family. Stevie knows all about family responsibilities. She looked after her 5 siblings while their mother had to work.
I know what it is to have responsibility and to be responsible for someone else.
The family never had much money, so Stevie's a price-conscious shopper.
I'm straight to the sale racks.
Career-wise, she's planning to be a social worker.
I chose that profession because I love working with people.
So how will Stevie handle all the sad cases she's going to meet on this trip?
It will be really hard for her. She'll want to scoop everything up and give everything a big hug and make it better, and it just shouldn't be that way.
Oh, cool. Wow. This is cool. Thank you.
How much would you pay for a room like this?
25.
25?
2,500.
A month.
A month.
Okay.
For just this room?
Yes.
2,500 pesos is about $57 US.
Nice colour. Yellow. I like it. My favourite colour.
Where do we go to the toilet if we need to go to the toilet overnight?
Here.
Down here?
Yeah, this is our toilet.
Yes. Oh, sweet. Flush? No.
Toilets in poorer homes don't have a flush mechanism. That's what the bucket is for. And there's no toilet paper. People use their left hand and water to clean themselves. It will be a new experience for Kieran and Peter.
Since I've got here, I haven't gone for a crap, so I'm like thinking, man, I'm hoping I only have to go for like a piss tonight, because if I have to go for a crap, I'm like definitely not wanting to do it in there.
Before the trip, Kieran revealed he likes to be in control.
I don't like being outside my comfort zone. I like everything to be in control, and I like to have control of a situation.
How's he going to handle all the out-of-control situations over the next 5 weeks?
You know, he doesn't like anything to be dirty, and he doesn't like small creatures and insects, and he's very particular about where his food comes from, and so I think he'll really struggle.
Her sister sleeps on cardboard, on metal, and this is as comfy as a mattress gets. I just think it's ironic how someone can work so hard their whole life at a factory that's not the best and have to sleep on this.
A couple of days before coming on the trip, I was moaning because I was saying, oh, we need to get a new bed, this one isn't comfortable. And then you see this.
It's rock solid. It's seriously rock solid.
I think I'll keep my bed for a little bit longer.
Roland. Nice to meet you. I'm Kieran.
G'day, man. Peter. Right.
Thank you for letting us stay here.
You were saying before that you have to buy the mattresses as well. How much do they cost?
1.5, Bristol 5.
How do you save up that money while buying food and paying rent and...
We have no mattress.
Oh.
Okay, I see. It's very different, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, just checked out the loo.
It's squattable.
Squattable?
Yeah. Yeah, when you need to go, you need to go.
Yeah.
We'll do it, eh?
Yeah, we were.
This toilet isn't just for Victoria's flat. All the neighboring flats use it as well, and the washing facility.
Yeah, it's just all really, really overwhelming. When I reflect on my life, and then I come here and see how they live, I'm finding back the tears, to be honest, I really am.
I'm surprised that I'm kind of dealing with it well. One thing I was faced about, though, was that the shower is outside. Oh my gosh. Ah! Oh my god, I think I just broke it. Oh my gosh, it's like the only source of water here, and I just broke. I feel like I broke the handle.
I'm glad I'm on the top one, because if a wild dog comes in here, I will be out of its reach.
So, mosquito net. Yes.
I'm definitely not going to need a flannel blanket tonight.
This room that we're staying in, it's just the biggest culture shock I've ever experienced in my life. I am slightly worried. I noticed we've got like an Allen key for a lock. So we're gonna have to trust in that one.
I'm definitely keen to lock the door because I think like the Filipino fiddler might come in the night and get into Pete because he looks a bit feminine, and I'm sure that's what they like, is a white feminine guy.
I'm fine because it's like, we have to. I saw the mattresses and they're quite thin, and I'm not good with sleeping on hard ground. Oh my god.
You're gonna need it. There are no mosquitoes.
I'm not good at this. Also, I only just made my bed for the first time a few months ago, so I don't think I'd be too good at making my bed here. My housekeeper makes my bed like every week. Yeah.
The EMS is well paid. That's insane. If this is what well paid gets you, I don't look forward to finding out what not so well paid gets you.
We just learnt that Victoria has a bit of a situation going on with her ex-husband, who is the father of her 3 children. Apparently he sends her death threats. He sends her death threats, so she sends him money and is kind of a bit off and dangerous, and she has to live with that every single day and live here knowing that someone's out there.
Victoria takes the girls out for dinner. Stephanie's used to eating Asian food, but for the others, the local food is as much of a culture shock as the accommodation.
It's like a slight tang in there.
Peter and Kieran get to sample the local street food.
So right now I'm about to eat what's called balot, which is like an egg that's almost hatched, but not quite.
It's quite good, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
This is so good.
You can see the face, the beak.
Yeah, cheers.
Kieran doesn't share Peter's enthusiasm.
Yeah, wake up.
True. Like, it tastes good, but my brain is still getting over it, eh?
I think the beak is probably the hardest bit to swallow because I was chewing and I felt like, you know, the crunchiness. But it's good.
Walking back to Faye's place, Kieran washes down the beak with an unknown liquid.
So Kieran's just been given a shot of mystery liquid from a stranger with no front teeth, and here he goes.
Next on Reality Trip, they work a full shift on the production line.
Going insane. Can't breathe.
the morning, it's about 4 in the morning. Probably had about 4 hours sleep due to the fact that it was just so hot and sticky. I feel so stinky, but got an 8-hour shift today, so let's do it. It's always time to look good.
Even at 4 a.m?
Yeah.
I never go out without makeup. Being well presented and well dressed, I just feel awesome.
Thanks, Dior. Thanks, Chanel.
Perhaps she's forgotten the makeup will have to come off when she gets to the factory.
What's the toilet like, Steph?
That's not open. Different. Okay.
Peter and Kieran had a better night than the girls.
Slept a lot better than I expected to. Got bitten a lot less than I expected to. So all in all, it's a plus. We're on our way to work. It's 4:30 in the morning, and there's still, it might as well be rush hour. Let's earn some money.
So this is a typical way for the Filipino to get to and from work.
Still haven't gotten to work yet, guys. And it's bright already.
30 minutes by tuk-tuk, and then a 1-hour bus ride to get to EMS in time for the 7 o'clock shift. Yesterday was a training day. Today, they do it for real.
You're basically treated as part of a giant machine, which in reality you really are. It's just one big giant machine.
I feel really sympathetic towards these people because I don't know about them. It may have been what they wanted to do, but for me personally, I couldn't spend 9 years putting tubes on coils, just putting tubes on coils day after day, 6 days a week.
Steph has a not very practical solution to the plight of other EMS workers.
They need to get onto a boat and paddle their way to New Zealand.
Enough people come to New Zealand without sending bloody these people here. New Zealand doesn't have tight enough immigration laws, and too many people come to New Zealand and take away jobs from people who have lived there all their life.
I was born in New Zealand. I was born in Auckland, and my parents had a classic rags to riches story. Like, they came to New Zealand with absolutely nothing and only enough for the flight. The thing is that if my parents didn't move to New Zealand, they probably would be doing this kind of stuff, but instead they moved. And they worked really, really hard under the table, doing waitressing jobs and a whole bunch of other random stuff. And look at how I turned out. Spoiled. Because they worked hard.
But then now, because your family's come to New Zealand and done that, now they're buying land and living where people who are genuine New Zealanders that have lived there all their life could have lived, and, you know, taking it away from the classic Kiwi.
Just because you happened to be there in the first place, did you earn that place?
Well, there should be some sort of rules around who can come in and just come in.
Entitlement.
Before coming on the trip, Kieran was told he'd be working in a factory, but this isn't what he imagined.
I'll love it, like it'll be awesome. I'm a hard worker, and so I'll get in there, I'll be like, okay, tell me what to do and I'll do it, and then when I'm finished, their manager will be like, right, all you other people who work every day need to learn from this guy how to work quicker and better.
Don't stop, just focus. This is the last time I'm warning you.
Being focused is the reason 3.5 million hard drive coils come off this factory floor every month. For hour 5, they're 2 hours into their shift and definitely not focused.
Oh my god, I'm going insane. I'm going insane, I can't breathe.
That was good.
I don't want to do it anymore. I honestly, I don't want to do it anymore. You know what this reminds me of? It's like a mouse on a little wheel.
They've completed 4 hours of their shift.
Oh, I'm shattered.
Hello. Oh, hi.
Hi. This is,
This one, please.
do you have money?
No, we're just putting it on a tab, I think.
EMS provides lunch for its workers. The cost is deducted from their pay. Peter's eyeing up the only table that has a tablecloth.
Can I sit with you? Most of the managers sit at this table.
Okay.
I encourage you to stay on that side, please.
Okay, sure.
Thank you.
Not allowed to sit with them. All reserved for managers. Yeah, Kieran. Really.
This table is for managers.
Can I sit here to talk to the managers?
Oh my God.
Is it the... Wait.
Kieran's desire to wind people up could backfire here. The team are here as guests of EMS, and judging by the reaction of the staff, he's crossing the line.
Oh, no, I'll sit over here. Big no-no to sit at the manager's table.
So what would you do if you didn't have this job, your dream job?
Planting vegetables. Just like...
If you didn't have a job, how would you live every day?
I don't know.
Faye's work horizons are so limited, whereas our 5 have the freedom to choose what they want to do. Like Peter, who thinks nothing of approaching management to discuss other options.
Do you mind if I take a seat? Cool. Hey man, so I've got to lay it on the line. We've been doing these tube insertions on the coils.
Hard for you?
I am finding it really difficult. Would it be okay if I came and worked in, say, IT? Because I do IT at home, so it's very similar.
Well, I'm sad to say, I think for the moment and for the time being that you're here, you need to work at the
I'm
line.
stuck.
That's right.
Back on the line, and some good news. Out of sympathy, their shift has been reduced to 6.5 hours. Only 2.5 hours to go.
I kind of want to pull a hard drive apart and find out where that coil goes, because no one knew. Even the managers had no real idea where in the final product this thing that they were making went.
For Stevie, it's the lack of individuality that she finds hardest to deal with.
When you're working, you're no one, really, because you don't bring anything special to the workplace because you're all doing the same damn things. It would seriously drive me mad.
They've finished their 6.5 hour shift. The other workers do 8 hours, 10 if they want overtime. 6 days a week, year after year.
Shit, she's fast. She's nearly finished her tray. Oh my God, it's crazy fast.
It's crazy, like, this is really humanizing. Like, I've played games where you have like a big building full of people that look exactly like this, and she's like, oh, you know, just other workers, do whatever. But when you hang with them, before they were just bits and nothing, and now they're people with backstories and lives and hopes and dreams.
Coming up, they find out if all their hard work has been worth it.
So yeah, we worked for like 6.5 hours, and we got...
It's time to find out how many hard drive coils each of them did and how much money they've earned.
So first, I'm calling Stephanie. So you have 269 units processed. So with that, I'm giving you salary. It's a total of 427. So for food, we deducted 90 pesos. For boarding rent, we deducted 100 pesos. That leaves you 237. Okay? The half will be given to your family, and the half will be your savings for today.
Okay.
So you will be receiving 136.50.
Okay.
Because of your good performance, I'm giving you 5 pesos additional for good performance. There's your...
Anna did 240 units, Stevie 230. Like Stephanie, they get a bonus of 5 pesos.
Additional 5 pesos. Okay, thank you. So for the two boys, did not meet our expectation.
Peter and Kieran only completed about half of what the girls did.
Before we can accept you as part of our company's employee, you need to meet the targets set.
However, they still get paid the same amount as the girls, but don't receive a bonus.
So yeah, we worked for like 6.5 hours, and we got...
Basically $4 New Zealand.
Yeah.
So like, how many hours did we work for?
About 6.5. Yeah.
So like less than $1 an hour.
Yeah, less than $1 an hour.
Wow.
And we only just managed to cover the bills.
Yeah, just.
When you're earning this such a little amount, you ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
Flush with their pay packets in their back pockets and armed with lots of questions, Stevie and Kieran meet Perry, one of the owners of EMS.
So I suppose when you are looking at hiring a person, it's diligence, discipline.
Patience, dexterity.
Yeah.
And patience. Most Filipinos have that, and the willingness to be trained.
Is it willingness to be trained, or would you say willingness to have an income?
That follows. The wage is important to them because basically that's what keeps them going.
The wage is very little, though, from what we understand.
Absolutely, compared to where you came from.
Yeah, well, compared to where I came from, I mean, you take the comparison away and you put yourself in the Philippines, and it still seemed though the wage was very little. And Victoria, even after getting her income, paying her bills, she was only left with only just enough to cover food, just.
Most of our employees are paid minimum wage, but there's a lot of incentive programs.
Yeah.
If you do good with your targets, you get more.
In comparison to many other Filipino manufacturers, EMS is considered a good company to work for. With the incentives on offer, employees can earn a reasonable wage by Philippine standards, enough to send money home to their families. And what our five don't yet understand is every week thousands of people move to Manila from rural areas, desperate to get a job at somewhere like EMS. Experiencing a day in the life of a worker in a Filipino electronics factory was the first of many experiences for our young travelers on their reality trip. So what sort of impact does it have?
A lot of the stuff that we've seen doesn't seem as bad as I thought it would be.
Faye and her boyfriend not having a mattress, that really shocked me. It seems like one of those most basic things.
Maybe I'm a heartless bastard.
I actually wasn't fazed by Victoria's room, unlike Stevie and Anna, who are just like, what the?
I just can't even comprehend living my life in such a small space, day in, day out, doing a job that's just so boring.
She's stuck. She's so stuck. She has no hope or dream.
For Peter, whose life back home revolves around computers, what does he learn?
Before, I would never have considered where things are made or how things are made or the conditions. It's always just been probably a factory in China somewhere. But now that I've seen people in the factory, it's completely humanized the entire experience.
With their different backgrounds and interests, they're not all going to respond the same way, but it's important they're open to each other's ideas. So how are the dynamics within the group?
So the group. I don't quite know where I fit in yet.
Pete, he has the best intentions, but I do feel like he does complain a bit.
Stephanie and Anna had the fashion thing from the get-go.
Anna's my favourite, just because we get along so well.
Steph is hilarious. She's just such a princess.
From Kieran, I've learnt more arrogant ways to just shoot back.
Some of the shit she says blows my mind.
To be honest. Oh, he's good.
Why the heck did Stephanie even bring fake eyelashes here? It's bizarre.
Stevie, I find I get along the best with because she's down to earth.
Pete, he's a good guy. He's socially awkward.
I have absolutely no idea where I stand with Kieran yet.
You take the piss out of him and he'll just like cower in the corner like, don't be rude to me.
It's really interesting to see everyone kind of almost butting horns, but sort of trying not to at this stage. But it's only week 1. We've got 5 more to go.
Next on Reality Trip, it's hard physical work on a banana plantation.
Woo! First banana tree!
But not everyone's happy.
It's going to ruin my shoes, and I just bought them.
There's questions about earnings.
Where is that money in between going?
And conflict starts to emerge within the group.
I'm done.
She's very pretentious. She's very self-indulgent.
And Peter's having doubts about the trip.
So do you want to go home?